I'm in Shenandoah National Park, and this is the Matthews Arm campground. The campground's up that way. I'm in some trailhead parking for hiking the trails in this area. This is where you park. Yep, there it is, my little red car. And those roads up there, you come down from Skyline Drive, and you go past this little check-in station, and then you just make a right-hand turn and come in here. It's indicated on signs. It says trailhead parking. So I'm going to go over here. I'm going to try and hike the Elkwallow Trail, which is a trail in here that I didn't even know existed. I'll explain how I discovered it later, but I'm going to go over here and study these maps over here. I'm not sure where the trailhead is, except I think it's over there on the other side of the main road somewhere. So we'll go over there and see if we can find it. This trail is a trail that was at the western edge of one of the landowners up here when they created the park. And I didn't realize until recently that the park, I guess, adopted that trail. So hopefully it's just a regular trail. They've been keeping it clear and so forth, but we'll see when we get there. This is mile marker 22, and the elevation here is 2725. Okay, well, I found the trailhead after consulting the informational sign. The parking lot's right there. So park there and just backtrack, come back out the same way you came in. There's the check-in station there. Just come on up here and it'll be off to the right here. Heading down the old Elkwallow Trail. This is a trace of a road that ran along the western edge of a tract of land that belonged to a guy last name Brumback. I'll show you in the park records when I do the map talk. I'm just now realizing though that I'm going to have to cross the headwaters of Jeremy's Run when I get down here. That might get exciting. Hopefully, since this is an official Shenandoah Trail, hopefully somebody's thrown some big rocks in the middle of the stream to make it easier to tippy-toe across. Let's see what happens. Can't wait. Half a mile into my hike, the elevation here is 2580. I've been dropping down a lot. And look at me, look where I am. The Park Service put this little footbridge / boardwalk in across the headwaters of Jeremy's Run. There it is coming down from up around Skyline Drive. And there it is, going down the rest of the mountain. That was easy. Seven-tenths of a mile into my hike. The elevation here is 26:15. I backtracked a little bit to point something out to myself and anybody else that's interested. Down that way is a pretty steep descent back down to Jeremy's Run. When you climb up, when you cross over that boardwalk and you climb out of Jeremy's Run, when you get back up here on fairly level ground, this trail takes a turn to the right that way. I'm going to come back this winter and start a bushwhack from here over into that direction on a compass bearing of about 112 magnetic, and I'm going to follow more or less constant elevation up that way, which is upstream for Jeremy's Run, because there was a homestead up that way. I'll point it out on the map when I do the map talk. And I don't know the exact coordinates, but it's about a 500-foot bushwhack, which isn't very far at all. So I'll come back this winter and bushwhack over there, and we'll look around and see if we can see any evidence of an old homestead. You know, rock piles, old cars, whatever. So let me continue my hike down towards Elkwallow Gap. One mile into my hike, the elevation here is 2630. I guess I'm about halfway to Elkwallow Gap now. And I've reached one of my waypoints, EWT number 2, Elkwallow Trail number 2. This is one of the points that I was able to see from Google Earth satellite pictures, so I knew the trail was here. And that's heading south towards Elkwallow Gap. That's where I'm going. Here's where I came from. And this is just an old road, following an old road that ran along the edge of this guy's property. So let's keep heading south to Elkwallow Gap. I got another waypoint dialed in another quarter of a mile. .3 miles into my hike. The elevation here is 2620. Been knocking along here fairly flat. This section of it's fairly flat. That's the way I'm headed. That's where I came from. I've actually been climbing just a little bit. And I'm standing at my waypoint EWT 3, Elkwallow Trail number 3. And I have dialed in another waypoint down real close to the gap, EWT4, and it's about a half a mile from here. So once I get down to the gap, I'll show you what's down there. It's a little camp store. I think they have some food. There's a picnic area. Pretty nice down there. Well, there's some evidence that the Park Service is keeping this trail clear. Look at that, that's freshly cut. And if you look at the sawdust chips, you can see they're still white colored. So I don't even think they've been through one winter. So that's probably a tree that blew down, dead tree that blew down this year and across the trail, and they came through here and cut that up. 1.8 miles into my hike. The elevation here is 2560. Pretty flat right through here. That's the way I'm headed. And that's where I came from. I'm starting to descend a little bit down into the gap. And this was I'm standing at waypoint EWT 4, Elkwallow Trail 4, and this was the last point that I was able to make out using Google Earth and the satellite photos. So anyway, we're looking at my GPS. It's about another 4/10 of a mile from here down to the gap. So let's go. .4 miles into my hike. I'm down at 2470 and I'm at Elkwallow Gap, and right over there is the little wayside store, and beyond that a little ways, a couple hundred yards I guess, is the picnic area. So I'll try and get over there and show you a little bit of that. So, but this is basically my turnaround point. I think I'll go over to the picnic area and sit down, drink some water, and rest up a little, and then hike back. Now I could hike back by turning left and hiking up Skyline Drive, but I think I'm just gonna go back the way I came on the Elkwallow Trail right here. So this is where the trail comes out, right here in this little parking lot. I'm over at the picnic area. You have to walk across the parking lot to get over here. You'll see that on my GPS track. And then it's a little bit of a climb to get up here. There's some picnic tables back in there. And then here's the main part. There's a picnic table. It's got grills, picnic tables down there. Bunch of picnic tables here with a grill. There, I don't know, there might be some more down over that hill. I'm gonna just go over here and sit down and rest for a few minutes, drink some water, send out a spot 4 message, and then turn around and start heading back. See that freshly flipped up rock there? Bears do that. Oh yeah. 4.6 miles into my hike. The elevation is 2570. Just came across the boardwalk again over Jeremy's Run. And if I go up this hill here on the Blue Blaze, that takes me back the exact same way I came. But I'm sorry, but I can't stand it. I'm looking over here and I see like a really steep gravel road and a little brown building over there. So I'm pretty sure that gravel road must go back up to the campground. So I'm gonna tippy-toe across this little feeder stream over there and see what that is, and maybe just follow that gravel road back up and see where I end up at Matthews Arm Campground. Okay, well here we are. The little brown building. That looks like a wellhead to me. And it's got electrical power going in. There's where I came from, over there Jeremy's Run, the headwaters. So if this is a well for the campsite, which I think that's what it is, because if I come around here, see that? They marked a blue line there. That usually means there's a water line. Blue is usually water. And here's another blue mark right there, heading up the mountain here. So yeah, I see more blue up that way. I don't know. Let's follow this up and see where we end up. I think we're going to end up at the campground. Oh, there's a power pole with a transformer on it for power. And there's some kind of radio telemetry box on the left side there with an antenna going up. So there you go. This is a map of today's hike. It's two quadrangle maps pasted together. The upper part is Bentonville, 1994, and the lower part is Thornton Gap, 1994. And the purpose of the hike was to hike this trail, Elkwallow Trail. This is a trail that I noticed it on an old survey map that I'll show you in a minute, and I figured it was going to be a bushwhack, but it turns out to be a current day trail supported by the Park Service. So they took an old road and turned it into a trail. The best place to park for this is Skyline Drive. Come down here, mile marker 22. When you get to this bend in the road here, you'll see a sign that says Matthews Arm Campground. Turn. This is the new road right here that I dotted in. The new road wasn't even on this 1994 map, but you come in on this new road and you're kind of going down the mountain here to a check-in station. And then you make a right-hand turn and you'll see signs that say trailhead parking, and you park right here. And then the rest of the campground's up this way. Got off here, backtracked just a little bit looking for the trailhead, Elkwallow Trail trailhead. So I found that, turned right, went into the woods, and then started following this trail. Now from here down to where you cross, these are the headwaters of Jeremy's Run right here. Here's Jeremy's Run. These are the headwaters. Right here where you cross Jeremy's Run, they have put in a pretty nice boardwalk to get across here because it's kind of a wet, swampy area. Go across there, then it's a steep climb to get back up on higher ground. And then just basically following this old road. This old road runs down the western edge of this property, this parcel of land. Okay, and you follow it all the way down here to Elkwallow Gap. And then I come out of the woods. There's the Elkwallow camp store here and a little bit of picnic tables. And you walk through the parking lot and follow the signs up the hill here to the picnic area. This is the picnic area. So went over here under the trees, rested up for a few minutes, and then basically came back same way I went. Now another way to come back would be just to follow the red line, which is Skyline Drive back. Of course, then when you get to here, then you've got about a half a mile walk down this Matthews Arm Road to get back. I decided not to do that. I just went back the same way that I came. Now let me show you the old map. When the state of Virginia, when they were creating the park in the 1930s, the state of Virginia went in and took everybody's land using eminent domain. A part of that process includes determining the acreage and supposedly fairly compensating the landowners for the acreage. So these tracts of land had surveys done in the 1930s to determine the exact locations of the boundaries and the size of it. This parcel is in Page County, and it's tract number 11. And the deed, the names on the deed is E.G. Brumback and J.F. Brumback. It was 396 acres. Okay, and Skyline Drive isn't even shown on this map. They hadn't put it in yet, but it comes down like this through the middle of this parcel of land, down like this. So anyway, I was looking at this survey and I noticed a couple of things about it. One is they show this old road down through here. So I thought, well, let me see if I can see any evidence of that using Google Earth satellite photos. And I did find 3 or 4 points along the way here. So I knew this trail, the road was there. I thought it was abandoned, but it turns out that this road was adopted by the Park Service and it's called Elkwallow Trail. So that's what that is. Here's the headwaters of Jeremy's Run coming down through there. Now I'm going to go back this winter because just south of the headwaters, you see that little black square there? That's a dwelling. And then this dotted line here where it says FG, that's grazing land. So there's the homestead, and this area here was cleared off for grazing. So I'm in the process of matching this up. This is going to be an approximate location. Match this up with a modern day map. Get some coordinates, and then hike here and see if I can see anything. I'll do that this winter. Turned out to be it was a nice hike because it was 5.2 miles and it was only 635 feet of ascent in 5.2 miles. So from the parking area down to where you cross Jeremy's Run, that part's really steep. And I think that's been rerouted some from the old days. And then you get on, it's just kind of a nice hike along this road all the way down to Elkwallow Gap. And that was the hike for today.